Welcome back to our channel, Princess It's channel. The UAAG disbursement being spoken of by Apostle Ken Nwakama, addressing the masses on disbursement and the sacrosanct nature of this disbursement. Listen and pay attention to him. It's actually a flashback of all the promises that he made in recent times. Listen carefully, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and press the notification button for further updates. Thank you and God bless you.
The recording will be sent and shared so that others can take a listen. And now we know the CEO meeting is supposed to come up this evening, and I really don't know what they want to talk about, but this information I'm talking about here now, some information came out from yesterday, and somewhat I tried to find out more, and I could get some hints on the fact that it has a higher percentage of truth. And as a fighter, we are proactive. Forgive our emergency meetings we just call at short notice. It is just because some things can't just be allowed to lie low. Check, for example, now this evening there will be a meeting with the CEOs. This meeting we are doing right now is going to be an input for whoever and those that will be at the meeting in this evening. At least the fact that CEOs may not be paid anything other than being ordinary subscribers, because that is the information coming out. And then bundle heads, definitely who will be paid. So I may not shout this afternoon, but whatever I'm saying here are very strong facts that needs us not to be quiet about. You see, yesterday this grant community was quiet. Today then is already past midday, all right, and it's quiet. And what probably we are just hearing is, let's say, information from behind the behind the scene. And if we allow, just keep quiet like this, I don't trust the government to be that kind to us. I don't trust. So we cannot just fold our hands and say, yes, this week we started with promises. You could see all the probably high hopes, or whatever, was it even high hopes by weekend? And every day that dawns, that is any delay without disbursement, somebody is going to think of one evil and one corruption to do. Every day that passes without this money being disbursed, someone will want to change the formula, somebody will want to shortchange, someone will want to cheat others, someone will want to make sure others don't get this thing. And this is the problem we have in delays. Monday came, we heard noise, nothing. Tuesday came, yes, nothing. Today is Wednesday. Okay, this month is finished. Between you and I, normally February ends 28. This 29 is just Jara because this is a leap year. So let's consider officially this month has ended today. So where is the February is February? Even though they intend to. But intentions that are corrupt has to be what? Questioned. Now, what we are getting is that federal government either wants to take over the grant or wants to be the one to disburse the grant and then pay directly. That means they'll be giving instructions to CBN to pay. And now, let me give a reason why we need to argue this point. Now, initially, what was collated and submitted with all the duplications, if you may, as data, amounted to about 1.2 billion people. And it was downsized by reason of Vivian, whatever, to a certain number, about 8 million Nigerians. That's what you heard NTA covered after the Thanksgiving, after the UAAG Thanksgiving. That's what we heard on NTA, 8 million. And I kept wondering, 8 million from where? Now, the thing is this, Who was removed from that database? Who was actually left behind? Who survived it out of all of that? The truth is that it is more of right now, it is a random database, a random list. We don't know who is there and who is not there. Now, the only way out of this would have been disburse money to the NGOs. NGOs will now look at, maybe ask, like we started seeing and hearing, they will ask a bundle heads, okay, rework your bundles, fine tune it to a certain number, maybe 20 people or 10 people or whatever number that can be, will bring them. Because what was submitted is not what is available right now. That is now what federal government, also what I'm hearing, is they want to pay those people. Okay, we have heard even as Dawood saying, some angels will be paid one bundle, some two, some three, some four, some five. The question is, what rationale are they even using for all this one or two or three or four or five? Okay, granted, they are going to be paid 5 or 2 bundles. Let's say 2 bundles per NGO. Which bundle head, which 2 bundle heads will be paid? What about the rest 400 or 500 or 700 as the case may be? So who is selected? Who did CBN select on the bundle heads data that was sent? They named the top names, let's say so. Who amongst them was picked to be the bundle head to be paid? And now they want to give two bundles. Who is it that will be paid there? The 2. What about the rest 500? And now again, they say they want to pay directly. That means if the federal government says they want to pay the money to the database directly, it means that, and I heard they want to treat even, they don't know NGOs, they don't know bundle heads, they just pay to Nigerians. That will be a colossal fatality because it's going to cause a lot of problems. Who actually then is paid? I believe before something is done, we need to look at the objective. If the objective of doing that thing is met. Presently, Nigerians are crying of hunger and a lot is happening. Hardship is too much on ground. So the best would have been if NGOs get money, they find a way to make this sure this money trickles to the poor of the poorest and also be able to take care of bundle heads. But now, if federal government say they want to pay, no bundle head, you can take that one for free. No bundle head will be accommodated in that listing because there is no special list like bundle head special list at this time because the whole database was downsized. So why does this government committee, let's address them, government committee headed by Gbajabiamila, why do they want to go ahead with something that won't favor Nigerians? And someone asks, how would this kind of thing be? The only thing is that they will use other NGOs and siphon the money, divert it, pay some higher. Even in these 2, 3, 4, 5 bundles you're here, some will be getting 20 bundles, some will be getting 10 bundles. In this thing you are still hearing, which is evil, which is anti-masses, which will never work, and it will not allow Nigerians to get their due. In this thing you're hearing, some NGOs will get 1 bundle, some will get 20, some 30. What is the criteria used to give an NGO 1, another NGO 30 or 25 in the same grant community? If not diversion, if not corruption, if not, a calculated attempt to make sure the masses don't get anything out of this thing. What is all this wickedness by someone who is people that are supposedly to front for government? So I'm even told that Mr. President is not too aware of this evil agenda. Now they are proposing to do what? Pay 300,000. It was whether 100,000 or something. They increased. That is, they have done us a favor to increase from 100,000 to 300,000. Is that not stupidity? What will 300,000 buy today? You and I know what a bag of rice is right now. You and I even know how even water, how much a bag of pure water is now. There is, with time I heard on radio, 500 naira. That's the water, whatever, people association announced it on their radios. It is going to be 500 naira a bag. So things are getting very uselessly crazy. Prices are rising. You pick something in the market today, you go back tomorrow, that same thing, the price has gone up. Transportation is not easier. So why do we have a government committee supposedly to oversee something in favor of Nigerians, cheating Nigerians? In the same distribution, some NGOs are getting one bundle, some will get 30, some may even pack as much as 40, 50. Is it not diversion? Is it not corruption? Is it not worth fighting back and say, no, enough is enough? Then upon that, you now want to be the one to pay the money. This is a non-governmental grant. Government, you don't have any business to do with this money at all. For you to have a government committee overseeing a non-governmental, in fact, in the first place, it's illegal. You shouldn't be the one having the bigger say. It is the NGOs that should have the bigger say in their own grant, a non-governmental grant, and not government. Government is only to assist us because money maybe is in CBN to see how this thing can be shared across NGOs and their subscribers. So if this madness is allowed to continue, bundle heads won't get anything. You can have that one for free. The second point is that if at the end of this evening's meeting, which this is my suspicion, they may settle NGOs with some amount of money, maybe 10 million, maybe 2 million, maybe whatever million, and then government goes ahead to pay because NGOs, like I know them, they're not talking. It's only Admin Rio that wants to die. For them, they will keep mute. For them, everything is fine. So they come now and settle them with 10, 20 million or whatever. Maybe that's what they want to discuss this evening. Because they've been quiet. Everywhere is quiet. No information is coming out. And this is how it starts. Until they effect this evil now, they will make sure everywhere is quiet. They're not talking about it. They now only want to talk to CEOs. So Apostle Ken Nwakama should be questioned. Federal government should be questioned. Because Apostle Ken Nwakama is in the disbursement committee. Federal government, Bajabi is also in the disbursement committee. So we should seriously agitate. That is why I proposed that, yes, we can do press conference. We can also do newspaper. But at the urgency, if we can do newspaper, it's faster. And it will be seen immediately. Once you do a press conference, and then you air it, and then the government people didn't see when you aired it, either on AIT or channels, that information is gone. And it is more expensive. They need to do a repeat broadcast, which will cost extra money. It is good, but once that time passes, they probably will not do replay. Replay will look too late. But in this case, once it is printed on paper, that is why the first one was very attractive. It caught attention that same day. The last newspaper publication we did, President saw it that day. They saw they were indicted. The whole massive, it's a paper you can go and buy. Press conference, how many people will just have the video clip in grant community? It's not bad, but it's more expensive right now. Again, even if we want to do, make sure we get the attention of Mr. President, as I understand, maybe he's not too aware that under him, they want to now pay 300,000. Because they can explain anything to the president that, okay, just the excuse is that for the immediate, let us just share something to the people, to the masses. After you get this 300,000, that is the end. You and I know this country. That is, if after all our 8 years struggle, they want to give somebody 300,000, you can imagine if we'll ever have anything after this. So we have to kind of warn Bajabiamila to keep off. This is it's a non-governmental grant. And that has to be done on paper for us to be able to say enough is enough. Then, Mr. President, one, why is it that in this hardship, this kind of thing is allowed to happen? How could it be that money that we know is in 38 trillion and somebody wants to give 300,000 to who he likes? This doomsday must be stopped. So at this point, I call this emergency meeting, 1, to intimate, 2, to let you know now that something is not all that fine. And this will lead to delay. Because if they went ahead by now to disburse to the NGOs and give them this money, by now they should have been disbursement. But by the time they want to keep this thing and keep shortchanging, they will now want to come, how do we pay? They will be delaying. I feel that NGOs will be sorted out, NGO heads, they will pay them some money. If they can say, okay, pay them maybe 10 million. Your NGO will just come and say, how much did you give me? Maybe all of the money you people contributed is 2 million. Oh yeah, collect. He goes his way. He pays every bundle head that gave any amount of money, the 1,000 to 2,000, and goes his way. But that is stupidity, because at the end of the day, that means the aim of going and struggling for this disbursement is useless. The whole effort is wasted. That means this is wickedness to masses of the highest order. So I don't know how we are going to do it. I hate to be out here calling for money. To be candid. But I let you to see the truth, and you speak for yourself this afternoon. What to be done? Our own is inform you early enough before it's late. Because if anything maybe happens today, they agree any amount to those NGOs. Now, so as then they keep mute, so they know they talk. Now, so then go keep quiet. They pay them this night. Tomorrow morning you wake up, you don't see money, you don't see anything. And nobody hears about it again. This broadcast, you people should stop asking for broadcast and MOU. Forget it. This thing is just it. None of those things may happen. Ask for disbursement and ask that NGOs be disbursed to, so that they can settle you bundle heads. They can have a way of sorting out bundle heads and subscribers. But if they pay, if government is now allowed to pay, they are not going to use any list you're submitting. They already have a list that they filtered, which we don't know how many are still alive. And I guarantee you are not on that list. Because which bundle head did they pick? Which one did they drop? Out of 500, they picked 2. Who are those 2? So this is the dilemma. And maybe people submitted like 500 bundles, 500 clusters, and then it's only 2. Which ones are those 2 bundles that are now being paid? What about the other 498 bundles? And this is how the grant community keeps quiet until we finally have an accident and there is no way to repay and there's no way to get things back. I got this information, I tried to do some verification and got that there is there's a higher element of truth. And if we allow it to slip, to be candid, they'll settle NGOs, maybe won't have, because they probably can argue for that to an extent. Because on this thing, they probably have already gotten the names of the NGOs. So they just settle them with some money. So how about the bundle heads? How about the subscribers? So at the end of the day, they now pay directly. To who? I am asking. To who will they pay the money? Who was removed from the list? Which bundle head was allowed to be on the list? Which one was removed? You pay 2 bundles. Who are the 2 bundle heads you're paying out of 500 when government wants to pay? Why can't government or whoever, government committees they want to blame here? And Bajabiamila is the head of that government committee. That's why we are calling him out. If if they now say CBN, okay, pay this amount to these people, 300,000, and then maybe they say NGO heads, we don't recognize you. NGO heads will now be paid as common. Sorry for that word, as beneficiaries. They all collect 300. That means everybody in the grant community, all this struggle now, waste of time would they do. So at least the easiest way out is give the money to the to the NGOs. Let the NGOs disburse and know the bundle heads under them and how to have a way of sorting them out, at least pay them. Outside that, if government wants to pay this money directly, bundle heads is finished. There's nothing. This night's meeting with NGO heads might be to find a way and settle them. And you know they don't talk. That's how NGOs will go and sit down and look at Nwakama this evening. And then they don't even ask a certain question. And at the end of the day, they do what they want to do. They say something will be given, something will be given. You check your app till tomorrow morning, you don't see anything appear on app. Next thing you see a lot. They have disbursed though. And bundle heads, nothing, honestly speaking, nothing. You can take this to the moon. If they can agree on any figure, 20 million, 10 million, whatever to settle, if this wickedness is allowed to continue, and then they pay few NGO heads this money, so subscribers and whatever, it is more of like to whom it may concern, because nobody knows who is on the list right now. Out of a list of 1.2 billion people, it was filtered to 8 million. And who is there? Who is the one that is paid? Nobody knows. Even the NGOs don't know who will be paid if they allow this method to continue. So it is time. Let Mr. President know by tomorrow or next that a disbursement committee is shortchanging Nigerians with this method of out of 38 trillion. This is wickedness, nothing more. So we have to make a point this afternoon, make them know that no, we refuse. And then advise Ken Nwakama and CEOs that are going for meeting this evening. Resist, any move to allow government to pay directly and settle you with a certain amount of money. It simply would mean that bundle heads will go home, nothing to offer, have nothing to get. Because worst case scenario, if they agree 30 million, agree any amount, at the end of the day, you see NGO come and say, what, how much do 10, 21, 1,000, 2,000, pay and be free. But it will be wickedness to Nigerians. A government committee, wickedness. But who is most influencing to this government committee is none than the head of that. But we need to report him now to Mr. President by publication, if you people will agree. I won't talk anymore for now. I'll let the floor be open. Entertain some questions and contributions. We're not supposed to overtalk. It's supposed to be an action. But I may not be in the right distance. I would have said, it depends on what you people say. If we could have been able to do something by tomorrow or latest Friday, or let's say by tomorrow, tweeting already the handle is being sent. Please tweet that thing for now, while we see if we can raise money to do another publication against tomorrow. If anyone is smart enough, you can give us, you can say enough is enough, you can raise us 150, 200, it actually went up this time anyway, 200K. Publication, will come out tomorrow. But somebody, government committee has to be reported to Mr. President, this wickedness. And Gbajabiamila must be at the forefront answering this question. And indicting the president that he gave an order and his order was not obeyed. And everything thereafter we saw playing out. First day, we lost last week. Now we are in this week. We are still hearing stories up till 28. Enough, I think, is really enough. Thank you very much. Now, I want you to know that except some people in Grand Community come out and say, in fact, even if they say, make sure first you report this matter to Mr. President, to call Femi Gbajabiamila to order on this matter. Because a kitchen cabinet could always suggest anything and tell Mr. Don't worry, we are handling it. Whatever they're handling is not in favor of the masses. A stitch in time, they say, save 9. I'm only giving an information this afternoon ahead of time. As a pressure group, we must give alert on time. If at the end of tonight's meeting with NGO, because I was expecting that they want to do disbursement broadcast, or maybe that is the way they want to do it, and then they settle them with 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. I don't know what they want to give them. But right now, as we speak, I don't think a figure is agreed. they are probably are ending up taking 300,000 just like every other person. So they shouldn't make it seem as if it's Admin Rio's fight alone. At the end of the day, all of us will be in it. If we allow government has no business. Government, listen, federal government, you don't have any business in a non-governmental money or grant. Steer clear. I will end at this point. The floor will be open. Please, for your contributions, what are we targeting? Let's see how Mr. President can get this information firsthand to save or salvage this situation. These people are very wicked in this country and they do not give a damn about caring about you and I. Even when hardship is so much and they know people are dying, this is the plan they still want to have. All right, I leave the floor at this point. Thank you very much, everybody. Good afternoon.